Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today my guest is Anthony Luciano Raimondi. What's up, Anthony?
All right, not too bad, Billy. What you doing?
Same old stuff, man. You know, trying to get these stories out there.
Yeah, I know. How's the weather up there in Jersey?
No, I'm in Connecticut. It's
Oh,
crazy.
Connecticut. I'm sorry. I was in Connecticut.
Oh, it's snowing like crazy right now. I'm stuck in the house.
It was snowing here, then it started hailing, then it rained. Now it's raining. Hopefully, temperature will stay in the 30s, like, maybe 38, 40, and melt all this garbage. Get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm tired of it, man.
I don't want to see no more.
Yeah, I'm done with it too.
Did you, I got to tell you one of the stories of me. A lot of people ask me, that I've been lucky. I've been shot twice. I was stabbed. I was poisoned. Fell off a roof, and I'm still here.
Fell off a roof?
Yeah, I fell off a roof. That's another story. Yeah. Well, no, I didn't fall off the roof. I'm speaking. I fell through the roof of the funeral parlor. Leo's place, right through the roof. Yeah.
How high was it?
I figure 1, 2, it was 3 stories. I went from the roof. I went straight down, and I landed feet first onto a body that he just embalmed.
Oh my God!
That story another day. It's going. A lot of people ask me, how come I'm so lucky or whatever?
Yeah,
and it's, a lot of things happened, and so the only thing I could think of is, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Back in 1960, I was in St. Augustine's Grammar School. That was in Brooklyn on Sterling Place between 5th and 6th Avenue. All Catholic school, St. Joseph Order and nuns were the ones who took care of you. It was December 16th, 1960. I was in the 3rd grade, Miss Piccarelli. Great teacher she was. And I was sitting next to the window because if you were bad, all the bad kids went to the window. I'm the only bad kid sitting by the freaking window. I'm all by myself over there.
Yeah.
I remember it was in the morning, and we heard a loud explosion. I mean, it actually shook the school. And then we heard something. It sounded like a rocket coming to us. Back then they taught you, it was like that duck and cover, like, when the atomic bombs and all that bullshit was.
Yeah, back then they were scared for the bombs coming over, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's running under the desk. Me, I get up, I'm going by the window. I want to see, see what's going on. And the noise kept getting louder and louder and louder and louder. What it was a jet plane. It came in between the block, between the school and the houses. It didn't go. I was interviewed for this on the 50th anniversary. This December that passed was 60 years ago that it happened.
How many people were on the plane?
Altogether, there was 190-something people died between both planes. I'll get into that in a second. The plane, it glided through the block, and I was by the window, and I could see people on fire and everything. That the wing of the plane, what was left of the wing, it hit the window, and all this part of me and my face and my head was covered in glass. Didn't get any in my eye. And I told everybody when I was a kid, they told me, they says, what did you see? I told them I saw death standing on top of the airplane. Everybody thought I was nuts. Now, the plane glided down and it hit ground between 7th and 8th Avenue on Sterling Place.
Mm-hmm.
Once it landed down, about maybe 10 seconds later, it exploded. Took out 14 brownstone houses, took out a funeral parlor, part of the steeple in St. Augustine's Church, part of the steeple in the Pillar of Fire, up on Flatbush Avenue. I don't know, God knows how many cars and everything on Flatbush Avenue where people were walking. And there was a guy that was selling Christmas trees. He was up on 7th Avenue. They never found his body. Now, what it was the 2 planes were over Staten Island. They crashed over Staten Island. One plane crashed in Miller's Field. Everybody died. The other one on Sterling Place. But what happened, one kid fell out of the plane. And in Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn on 7th Avenue, they have a plaque with his name. I think his name was Stephen Baltz. I think it was Stephen Baltz. I'll get to him in a second. And the money he had in his pocket that didn't burn up was change, and it's in the plaque with his name. He was about 11 years old. He was going home for the holidays.
Wow.
This kid, we couldn't tell if he was white or black. That's how bad he was burned. Anyway, they got us out of the school. My mother, my aunts, they come running up to get all of us out. The gasoline, the jet fuel was running down the block, burning on fire, melting the snow. Body parts all over. When the ambulance guys, they seen me, I had glass from here, all here, in here, under here, nothing in my eye. They put me in the ambulance. And when they put me in the ambulance, they put me in with this kid who lived for the one day. Now, I told everybody I saw death standing on the plane. And people, how can you see death inside the plane? I never said somebody, bunch of people wrote that because it's in my story. Morons, I said on the plane, standing on the plane, not in the plane. And I'm telling you, he went like this to me with his hand, and he went like that. Everybody thought I was nuts. Now, when they were putting me in the ambulance, there was me and this kid. I was telling my mother and everybody what I saw. They thought it was from the shock of the jet coming through the block because it glided through. It didn't come through fast. It glided through. Like I said, Roseanne Scotto interviewed me. 1010 Wins, Channel 11. They all interviewed me. When they were putting me in the ambulance, I seen him walking down the block. And I kept telling everybody, there he is, there he is. He's walking down the block. And where? I said, over there. No, they didn't see nothing. He turned, and I'll tell you how he looked. He had the robes, like the monk's robe, but he wasn't a skeleton. The skin was like very tight on his face, like almost like if you put saran wrap on over the bones. And you could see the features of the bones, and the same thing with his hands. And he wasn't carrying no sickle like you see in the thing, He was just walking like that, and he turned around, looked at me, and he smiled, and he went like this to me again. And I just seen him going down the block, and he disappeared. Now, my mother and father, they took me to a psychiatrist for 2 years. Every station I went to, oh God, they must have took me to like about 7 different psychiatrists. Every psychiatrist had the same thing to say. They said either he convinced himself of what he saw, that I convinced myself of what I saw, or 2, I really saw what I said I saw.
Yeah.
Or they couldn't find anything wrong. I have that story in my book, in book 1.
But all those people died that day, so who knows?
Everybody died. They missed the school, but like I said, when the jet came into the block, what was left of the wing hit the window and all the glass came in my face. When I got into the hospital, the doctors in Methodist Hospital, I was brought to Methodist Hospital, the doctors looked at me. They couldn't believe how no glass went into my eye or in my eyelid. But all around the eyebrow, all the forehead, the side of my face, all even underneath the cheek and my lips. Nothing went in my eye. They cannot understand how it didn't go in my eye.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was, I said, the only thing I said, that's the only thing I can think that's saving me. For what is he saving me for? I have no freaking idea. Because like I said, I got shot here, with the bullet here. I got shot in the side.
Yeah.
When the war started. I got stabbed when I was in Nam by my scout. I'm going to tell that story. I was poisoned by a guy that me and him didn't get along with, and he poisoned me in my drink, and I survived that also.
What did he put in your drink?
Put cyanide.
And you made it through?
Yep. And the doctor said the reason why I made it through because I had so much alcohol in my system, he said. Swear to God, that's what he said. Anyway, I'll get into it with that story. And like I said, when I ran across the roof, I was chasing somebody, and my cousin Leo had the funeral parlor, and I went first, second, right down to the ground floor. I mean, straight like a bullet, straight down. Didn't break anything, but I got my legs were screwed up from the formaldehyde when it came out of the guy's body when I crushed his chest. I was already dead. What am I supposed to fucking do?
He fell on top of a dead guy.
Oh, forget about it, dude. Feet first. Feet first. But I gotta tell you, you asking me about Wild Bill. You asked me about Bill Catullo.
Yeah.
I used to have remember I was telling I used to go back and forth to Connecticut, me, my cousin Mac, and we were Billy Grasso. And we used to pick up the ribbon from him and the money. Go back to Brooklyn, and then Monday mornings, I used to get in my car and I used to go up to Rockaway Boulevard. There was a gas station that they had up there, and it was Big Joe T, and it was Billy Fingers. Well, not Billy Fingers, it was Billy Catullo. He was up there. I used to bring him the ribbon. The ribbon is like, what the receipts were, the bets that came in and out and everything. And then I bring him the cash. And I spent about maybe 2-3 hours. Me and Billy would spend about 2-3 hours hanging out, just talking, bullshitting here and there. Because every Monday, like clockwork, I had it. Because, like I said, we used to go to Connecticut, and I used to meet with Billy Grasso. Now, there are two Billy Grassos. One Billy Grasso, they killed him. His own people killed him. They whacked him in a van. And this was his cousin, Billy the Boxer, I called him, because he looked like a boxer. He was involved in bookmaking, Shylock, and everything. So me and my cousin Mac, we either go Saturday night or we'd go Sunday morning. We should go to Connecticut. We should go to Darien. This is exit 11 on 85 North. There was a Holiday Inn. And we always had this table that we sat at. And so we sat there, and, we used to see Billy used to come in. We sit down, discuss what we had discussion, change everything around, make our exchanges. So there's one day I walk in, me and my cousin Mac walk in, and we sit down. And I don't know, my cousin, he went to make a call or something, and a girl comes over to me. She goes, "Can I speak to you?" Yeah, what? Yeah, what can I do for you? She goes, "Listen," she goes, "during the week, my boss was here, and he was with two guys, and she goes, and they will buy you a table," because she took me away from the table. I says, "Yeah." She goes, "They opened up the wall, and I don't know what they done, and then they closed it, and I know they had some type of equipment with them." I looked at her, I said, "Okay, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out it's FBI that did it." Doing
Yeah.
My cousin comes back to the table. He goes, I says, I went like this, Tim. He goes, "Let's go outside." I said, "Let's go outside and get a smoke." We went outside. I said, "Listen," I said, "the hostess up at the stand over there?" He says, "Yeah." She told me that her boss was here during the week with two guys. They opened up the wall. They did something, and she saw electronic equipment. I said, "But I think the wall is sealed." He goes, "Let's go back inside and take a look." I go back. Where we sat, there was never an electric outlet. All of a sudden, there's an electric outlet over there.
Yeah.
Under the table. Got up and we went outside. I thanked her. Her name was Sandy Springer. So Billy comes and he sees us outside. He goes, "What's going on?" So I said, "Bill, listen, this, that is what this girl told me inside." He goes, "You mean Sandy?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I know her brother, Dave. He's around me. He owns Springer Pavement Company up in Connecticut." I said, "So she's legitimate?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Listen to what she said." So he calls her out, and she's telling him the same thing. So then we started going to Fairfield, Connecticut. We started going into the Rustic Grotto, Angelo's place I was telling you about.
Yeah.
We used to do our business over there. Everything was fine. And, come back into Brooklyn, like I said, Sunday. And then Monday I used to go up and see, Big Joe T, and I used to go see Billy Catullo. But Billy Grasso, who got clipped, he was the guy that got clipped at the phone booth. That after he got done talking with me and Mac, we just turned around and we left where we were going. Somebody just walked up and popped him behind the head. But what we found out, he got pinched for drugs. He was doing a drug deal. And he got pinched, but there was no record of it. The stool pigeon on the case gave him up to everybody, and somehow they got the records. And there was a paper, I think they called it a proffer or something like that, where he signed that he was going to testify